I'm back again. This is my second time recording this too because there was no audio the first time, and I wasn't planning on posting anytime soon because I did not have any ideas, but this idea just popped in my head randomly and I thought I could make a video with it. Also, the reason I keep taking these really long breaks is because I don't have any ideas for videos and I also have other things to focus on. I'm gonna be showing you how I get a lot of clothes to sell in my shop, because a lot of people may want to sell stuff for beaks, but they don't really have anything and they find it difficult. There's many ways to get clothing for this kind of stuff, but I'm gonna show you one of the ways that I do it. And it's actually pretty fun, for me at least, but it also may be stressful. So basically, you just have to make a spin to win, and if you don't know what that is, I will explain it right now. A spin to win is kind of like a game where you basically spin these wheels to get your prize. As you can see here, this girl just won a prize. Now, the rules are kind of set by the owner, so everyone is different in a way. Again, I'm showing you one of the ways that I get clothing and stuff for my shops, so you don't have to use these as a way to get clothes for your shop. You could just use them to get clothes in general, like stuff to wear, or you could even use them to get beaks. This is my spin to win right here, and first I'm going to list the stuff that you will need to make this, and then I will explain to you how they work. You're going to need inappropriate units, at least one mannequin. You can have more, but I guess it just depends on how many prizes you want. As you can see here, I have two, one for boys and one for girls. You need to have at least one shop pod. You need teleport tiles or teleport pods. You need game wheels, obviously. And I guess this depends on what kind of units you have, but you should have little items like these so that you can separate the levels. As you can see here, I'm using For the units you should use, I do not recommend the one that I'm using because as you can see here, the queue area is really tiny, so it gets really crowded and people are cutting each other a lot, and sometimes someone will be standing on the spawner, so then this top corner is blocked off and people can't click on it, and it's just a mess. So I have to use this VIP thing to my advantage, and I have to limit the amount of people to like 5 or 6. I did not think this out when I decided to buy these units. I might actually change it because of that, but yeah, I do not recommend these units if you're gonna make a spin to win. I mean, you can kind of use any units that you want as long as you plan it out and make sure that it works and make sure that it's good. Or you could even go to other people's spin to wins and look at what units they're using, and you could try to make one out of the same units. But one units that I do recommend is the ballroom units, because your queue could be right here, and you could block off the bridge, and then this could be the spinning area, and then over here could be your prize. Or you could also use these units, where this is the queue, and this is a prize area, and this is the spinning area, but this might be a little too small to be the queue area, the part where you wait in line. So I think you should find a unit that has a big one, like the castle one I just showed you. I'm going to be using this person's units as an example, since again, I don't think mine is very appropriate for this. Now I'm going to be explaining to you how these work. So I guess as you can see, this person actually put the queue on this side of the units instead of this side, but I guess either side is fine, but I would recommend doing this side since it is bigger, and you will have more people in your units that could fit in here. They are actually using these black tiles right here as things to separate the spinning area and the queue, but you could use whatever. As you can see here, they're using rocks for this part. As you could probably guess, people who come to your spin to win will line up at a tile. You should only let in one person at a time because it can get very confusing and stressful for you and the other people. As you can see, they have 4 levels, 4 wheels. You don't have to use these wheels. You can use any, you can even use a really big one. You can have as many levels as you want, but I'd say the maximum is 4. So the first person in line, they would click the tile and then they would go on to the first level. We could say this area right here is the first level. Since I can't actually get in, we're just gonna pretend that I'm in. As you can see at this wheel, there are 4 colors. The person on the level has to say a color, they basically guess it, and then they spin the wheel, and if the wheel lands on the color that they guessed, they can click the tile and move on to the next level. So for example, I say red, and then I click the wheel and spin it, and it lands on red, I go to the next level. However, if the person guesses a color and it doesn't land on the color, then they can't move on to the next level. Instead, they have to either trade you or buy something out of your shop for a few extra spins. I actually recommend giving the people a free spin or two at the start, and if they get it wrong both times, then they have to buy your trade. So for example, I go in and I say the color yellow, and I have 2 free spins. If I spin the wheel and it lands on the color yellow, I can go on to the next level. And if you give them a few free spins, let's just say you give them 2 free spins, if they say yellow and it doesn't land on it, they can spin again for free, and if it does land on it the second time, then they can move on. If you give them 2 free spins and it doesn't land on their color both times, then they can either trade you some stuff or they can buy something out of your pods for however many beaks you put the stuff as. And when they trade or buy, they get another however many spins. The wheels with the frowny faces and smileys is kind of different. I mean, you could do it the same thing with the colors, but there's also another way you can do it. You could say you have to get a smiley in order to pass, or you have to get a frowny face in order to pass. And then it's basically the same thing. If they get the frowny face or the smiley, whatever you choose, then they pass, and if they don't, then they don't pass and they have to buy a trade. Also, make sure to have tiles in your little areas and your levels so that they can click it and go into the next level. Say this was level 3, it's the same thing with the smileys and frowny faces, except there's more, so it's a little bit more difficult. Like, you could say, you can only move on if you get a frowny face, or you can only move on if you get a smiley face. It's the same thing as the last one. Or, again, you could do the same thing as the color wheel, where you have them guess which one, and if they get it, then they can pass. You can also give them free spins on every level if you want, or the first one, like the first, you can give them 2 free spins or 1 free spin, however many you want, but you don't have to. And then we could say that this is the last level. It's a color wheel, but there's more colors, so it's more difficult again. If you want, you could put a label or something that lists off all the colors so that they can choose. Now, this part, some people have it and some people don't. It's completely up to you whether you want this part in your spin to win or not. Some people have this dice right here, as you can see. So basically, when the person completes all 4 wheels, or however many wheels you have, they get to this dice. And they roll it, and it chooses their prize for them. The question mark would be hair, since there is no hair option on the dice. Again, that dice is completely optional, and you do not have to have it in your game. If you don't have the dice, then they can just pick whatever prize they want. And it's up to you whether the prize is full mannequin or just 1 item or 2. Now for the prizes, they can basically be whatever you want, but make sure they're not too bad or else people won't really want to play. They'll be like, oh, those prizes aren't even good, there's no point in playing and wasting my time here. You can make the prizes really good or decent, whatever you want, but just make sure they're not too bad and too poor. It is pretty fun, but it can also be kind of stressful, especially if there's a ton of people there, and it can also last a really long time unless you stop it. I've gotten a lot of stuff from that, like clothes that I've sold in my shop or the marketplace, and I've also gotten some beaks on the side. But yeah, this is a really great way to get clothing to sell, or a really great way just to get clothes to wear, or a little bit of extra beaks. I hope this video helped you, and I hope you get some clothing from it, and if you need any help or have any questions, then please let me know in the comments or Woozworld private chat. That's the end of this video. I love you guys so much, and bye!